And there we go. Hello, welcome back to Locklab 101. What we have today is another package to pick. It's another Elite. I like doing these, even though these aren't the highest security locks, obviously. I like doing these because it's a lock that a lot of people have access to, and it's a good training lock for people that are just getting in the sport. So I enjoy them, and you learn something from any lock. Is this going to be a fairly easy lock to pick? Yeah, probably. Am I going to learn something from it? I believe so. And if I don't, well, then I just have to reevaluate what I'm doing. Okay, so let's get this thing opened up. The literature doesn't say anything except how to install it, so that's fine. All right. I've looked these Elite locks up in the past on the internet. There's not a lot of information on them. Mainly has, where it's manufactured and just stuff like what's on the same information that's on the back. Okay, so we have a 5-pin pin tumbler here. Okay, during the manufacturing process, they drill those, and that's where the pin chambers are. Something I'm going to do today. I do this with most all the locks I pick. I usually don't show it on camera because I need to put her up to my eye, but this is a 3-in-1. What I do is I'll go in here and for like padlocks, I'll count the pins. With a Euro profile like this, what I'll do is I'll go in there and I'll look at each one of the pins. I'll look at the back of the keyway, see what's there. Sometimes there's bypasses in the back. So I'll look at the back of the keyway, I'll look at each one of the pins. Based off of that, I'll come up with my pick strategy. I'll choose the pick that I want to use based off of how far apart they are. Sometimes you can see the spring pin or the driver pin, and that'll give me an indication of the key cut. So how far, it gives a generalized indication of how far you're going to have to lift that key. Also, based off of this, it's like a little reconnaissance, right, inside a keyway. I'll determine whether I'm going to do top of the keyway or bottom of the keyway tension. Okay, so here I'm going to try to give you a view of what you can see from, and then I'm like a foot away from the camera right now, but when you put your eyeball right up there, you get a really good view of what's in that keyway. Okay, so what I saw was on pin 5, I saw the break right at the bottom of or top of the keyway, the break between the spring pin and the key pin, which means that that's probably going to be like a 0 cut or close to it all the way down. And if you look on the key, that kind of corresponds with what this key is saying also. Right here, so just the more you know, the better your picking strategy is going to be. I highly encourage or recommend before you start your picking, look in even with a flashlight will help. Look in that keyway and it'll give you a better idea of what you're up against. Okay, so let's get at it. So I'm not going to put this in a vise. I'm going to pick this in my hand today. It's good to rotate or alternate between a vise and your hand if you're into building skill, because picking from a vise is a lot different than picking in the hand. So let's get at it. Top of the keyway tension, and I'm using a tension tool that just has a very small little bend in it. You can make these tension tools out of windshield wiper blades. You take the blade off, take the rubber off, and then it leaves sprung steel, and that works pretty good. Okay, pin 1, binding. Pin 2. Okay, pin 2 set. Pin 3. Pin 4 set. And then pin 5. And remember, pin 5 is what we had it's going to be a really deep cut. Make sure I get right on the top of that so I don't affect pin number 4 when I lift it. And there we go. Okay, so what I was talking about is, So what I meant about that was, so when we scoped it with this, we saw that pin number 5 was going to be a really deep cut. Okay, so if I'm in the keyway right like this and I don't get exactly on top of that key and I press down, look what happens. You see, I just affected pin 4. Okay, so that's why it's, so what I'll do, I'll come in here. The first pin doesn't really matter. You can pick it from here, you can pick it from here, you can pick it from here. It's still going to go down. But after the first pin, what I do also, I'll come in, I'll find the gap between them, I'll go past it, I'll come over, and I'll see exactly where I'm on top, and then I'll press down. Because what happens if you don't, so say I'm over here and I press down, boom. Before I got to shear line, I started to affect pin 1. Okay, now when we scoped it, remember, we knew that pin 5 was going to be a deep set. We knew that, which made it even more critical to get on the very top of it. Okay, one, it gives us more room for activities right in here. If we're on the other side of it and we start pressing that, we're going to start affecting pin 4 right away. I'll find the gap between 4 and 5. I'll come past it. I'll come back here. I'll find the exact tip of it, and then I'll start my lifting. Okay, so that's pretty important, because what happens is, well, you're just going to overset pins. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something out of it and enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you very much.